Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the One Shot Podcast. My name, of course, as always, is Chris Famularo. Joining me today, a wonderful crew, Tommy Rinaldi, Olivia Klein, Christian Gardner. How is everyone doing? Starting with Olivia.
I'm doing okay. I'm like 1 week ahead of you guys in terms of like we're just getting over the snow. So like the sun is actually out right now and I'm like seeing it for the first time in a week, which has been really nice because I've just been looking at like overcast for the last week. So yeah, I'm doing okay. This has been my first like full week of classes because we also had snow days and stuff last Monday and Tuesday. So just getting into the swing of things.
Yeah, because you are out in the Midwest. You're like however many miles that is out in no man's land America, where corn is abundant and happiness is not. So I'm glad that you're out of the snow and into the sunshine, at least for today.
We honestly need to do like a corn like count, like bing, like every time corn is mentioned.
I'll make note of that as the editor.
Like I can't exist in a space, especially with my New Jersey crew. Like I can't exist in a space without like corn being brought up or like the Huskers at least once. So I feel like tallying it would just be very interesting at this point.
Go Big Red, man. Go Big Red.
Okay, we can make a drinking game.
There we go. That's what we need.
Every time we mention corn, is serious or not, just take a swig. All right,
It's gonna be fun to edit.
Tommy or Christian, do you guys choose who goes first?
Christian, baby, how you doing?
I tell people about Tommy's week, and then you try to guess about my week.
Oh, this is gonna be awful. Right. Okay, let's go. Let's do it.
Tommy, he had a very eventful week. Back in Sayreville. I like to call it Tommyville. So as he does, helping the elderly, as he does, he's administrating vaccines for everyone. Very gracious of what you do, and singing to all those old folks. I mean, I cried when you sent me that video and all the poems that you wrote for my great aunt. I can't say enough of what you've done for my family. So it's so fantastic. He continues to do it week in, week out. Tommy Rinaldi, and somehow, some way, he also learned how to cook. Like he made brownies today.
Yeah,
it's baking.
Cooking, baking, it's all the same thing to Tommy. Like what can
Your great aunt is a sweet, sweet lady. I'm glad to be able to sing and write poems for her. But Christian, he's been doing so many wonderful things. He's playing for the Seton Hall Pirates for basketball. He's covering his own game mid-game. He's commentating while he's shooting the hoop. And he's doing a great job. Whether it's for WSOU or the PTVs, everything is in full force for this man. He is ready, he is willing, and he will get the job done on the court and off the court.
Yeah. I love the accent. I'm a big fan of the accent. I want Tommy to narrate everything that I do.
This is like manifesting now. Both of these things are like gonna happen for you then in the next month.
Perfect.
Like it will be spoken into existence.
Thinking to old people. I can't wait.
Dunking on someone in Villanova.
Yo. They're not gonna play him again.
He's got another year of eligibility.
There's always next year.
There's always next year. That's
true. Never play Creighton again either. I called the Creighton game this past week, which was a lot of fun. And I spoke that comeback into existence. Didn't mean to, but it happens.
I think it was just expected the way Seton Hall kind of blew them out in the beginning, and then they're like, let's pump the brakes on ourselves, play badly, let them score a bunch, play no defense. But we're not a Seton Hall Pirates basketball podcast. We are the One Shot Podcast, and we're going to talk about a bunch of different things. One of those things we're going to get into is the fact that this past week has been absolutely not insane, as in like in reference like 2020, every week was insane. Something insane was happening, but like this is like a 2021 insane where Reddit is like empowering each other to bully billionaires into holding stocks until hedge funds lose money. And it is the weirdest turn of events that I've ever seen, because in 2020, everyone was complaining like, when's the government going to give us our money? When's the money we're going to get that we're owed? And then 2021, everyone stopped asking, and they're just like, I'm going to put whatever money I have into these stocks that nobody cares, and then I'm just going to take it. Like, I'm not going to wait anymore. And then, you know, all the billionaires were like, whoa, what the fuck? No, you can't do that. And then the Redditor said, oh, well, too late. So that's my synopsis on this past week. What is everybody's thought on that?
Stocks have been rising, and I was going to actually buy the AMC stock. The person that was helping me create my portfolio thing, he was like, don't take AMC. It's really down. Like there's been no upside recently. And of course, now there is a lot of upside. I would have been getting it at like $8, and it was at $300 at one point, which would have been
Yeah, but it's back down to 13. So
insane. But yeah,
it opened at 17 and now it's down to 13.
That's the billionaires regulating it. And but yeah, it is really insane how quickly Reddit has mobilized to take down billionaires, and then the reverse of it, how quick the billionaires have mobilized to save themselves. So
what's like the legality with all this? Because like I barely understand what's happening, but like, are the billionaires essentially saying like this is illegal to be happening, or like, I don't understand like the legality.
So from my understanding, it's similar to what happened in 2008 with the housing market. So they would borrow these stocks from people as like a way to make them richer, but in reality, they're just taking money from those people. So it's called shorting stocks, The Big Short, all of that, like that movie.
Yeah.
They chose the stocks that were plummeting down and making them go even lower so that they could make billions in their own way. And then the Redditors were like, no, let's just bring this stuff up to where it's supposed to be, or even higher than that. And that made the billionaires that were borrowing the stocks have to invest into the stock to try to get their money back and everything like that.
Okay.
So it's this vicious cycle of like the Redditors just destroying the billionaires, and then the billionaires were like, we can't have this anymore. So they stopped it, and now it's regulating itself in its own way.
Interesting.
I just enjoyed the whole situation because it just made you realize, oh, this is all a joke. Like, whatever the stock market is, that doesn't really affect you, because I think it was at an all-time high in this past year as like the number of people were laid off in this year. And so just like in this moment, we all just got to say, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
And it was just funny to watch.
The memes after like events like this are always so good too. Like my personal faves were like the pictures of like couples, and it's like stock market boyfriend and astrology girlfriend. Like it's just the craziness of the situation paired with you know, memes like that. It's just fun to watch all that go down.
Yeah, I think it also kind of awoke a lot of people who, like myself and probably like Tommy and the two of you, who really either A, didn't care or didn't care enough to know what was going on. And now it's kind of like, well, watching all of this unfold, you get two perspectives, right? You get what Christian said, where it's like, you know, we grow up thinking like, oh, the stock market, and you know that there's stockbrokers, and you know there's people that make a living just doing day trading and stuff like that. And you realize that like it's just a huge fucking joke, and there's no value to it. And like, if it can be this manipulated by a couple of like driven internet people, then you watch all these rich people who own a bunch of businesses. They're like, well, what? And then they lose their minds at it. It just shows you that it's pointless, or maybe not pointless is the word, but it's like, it's so unmanageable that it's toxic in either way you go. You know, either you have mass amount of people who can do whatever they want just by numbers, or you have a few people who can do whatever they want based on the amount of money they have. So it's
definitely like, I always grew up thinking that stocks were like untouchable, especially with the way it's portrayed in like movies and like stockbrokers, Wall Street, all that kind of stuff. So then to be like, again, I literally thought like, is this illegal? Because like people on Reddit can just like manipulate it that much that people are losing like this much money and things like that. So it really is just like, who built this like system? Because it fucking sucks and you're fucking stupid. Like, if people can come and manipulate it that hard, like, I don't know. It's just like weird the way I've portrayed it And now like these events that have played out in the past week, I'm like really needing to reevaluate like what the fuck is the stock market, and what, like, why did I think it was this like high end, high class thing when it's really not at all, you know?
Yeah, it always felt like the like the established man's game, like you have to have money away to kind of play the stock market, which I guess you kind of do because a lot of these Reddit people are only throwing like they're either doing like end all be all, let me throw in $3,000, or they're like, I'll put in 100 and see what happens, and I'm fine with that. And it's just you realize it's like, well, what's the point? What does it all matter? And now you're just watching people like cling on to a certain thing, and it's just becoming this like hive mind of, we did it for GameStop, we can do it for this, we can do it for that. It's just you kind of want to know where the wheel is going to stop rolling on this whole stock market hive mind situation. But with Reddit, you really never know, because they're a bunch of determined people is what they are.
and that's where
Story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tommy.
I was gonna say that's where we are with Dogecoin at this point, because it's everybody's buying it and it's a complete meme. There's no value in that stock, but people are doing it because this is just where the internet is at this point. Go ahead,
saw
Christian.
one good thing to come out of this was like there was a little kid that his mom bought stock in GameStop last year because he was such a big fan of like video games and stuff, and he made like $5,000 last week because he had that little stock, and now he's a big stock guy. I don't know what like a 12-year-old does with $5,000, but hey, good for him.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like the other side of the joke coin that we were talking about with, there are a lot of good things coming out of it that are kind of getting buried in this news cycle of rich people crying and Redditors fighting back. It's like there are people who are posting on Reddit showing how much money they have earned and the good things they're doing with it. That's what's kind of cool about this whole situation, is like people actually, they were doing it for a message, I guess, was the main push behind GameStop. But some people, even took out a percentage of the amount of stocks they had, and they made money, tens of thousands of dollars, and they were able to do like really cool things with it. Like, I'm sure all of you guys saw that one post of the guy who was able to like pay off his sister's loans, and he was able to get health insurance for his mother for the year or something. Like it's just crazy. I mean, 2020 we were asking for money because we weren't able to go and work, and now we're just 2021 people are going and taking it through means of force. It's a wild ride that we're in.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see, and I hope we do get more of those stories where they are wholesome and stuff of that nature, because after 2020 we need some of those stories in the news.
Yeah, of course. And I think we can kind of transition away, because like we've said, this whole stock market stonks has been majoring the news cycle for the past week. So we'll kind of transition away to our own kind of thing. And one thing I think is interesting about this group we have here is we have two people who are from two different states outside of New Jersey. And then there's myself and Tommy, who are from two different parts of the same state that have their own cultural and dietary differences. So we're going to talk about food, because food is always fun to talk about. It is just the perfect conversation starter. So I'm going to throw this to Olivia and Christian first, Christian being from Virginia and Olivia being from Nebraska. What are two popular food, or not two, one each? What are some popular food items from your guys' home state that you were surprised that was not in New Jersey, or it may have been, but wasn't as popular?
Christian, do you have anything?
Off the dome, no, but like very specific foods that I like can call home for myself is like from the area of the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, soft shell crab is like a huge thing, like seafood and that kind of stuff. Like we're not throwing down like Cajun people or anything like that, but soft shell crab is unique to that area, where you get this big mallet and a crab that's like this big or so, and you just kind of like smack it.
Smash it with a hammer.
And you just eat it.
That's so interesting.
But it's a fun activity to do, because like you get like shrimp or something, and then everyone's just whacking crabs with their mallet. But also for me, one of my favorite things is called mambo sauce. It's like duck sauce and barbecue sauce, and it's great with like chicken and stuff. I put it on like cheese sticks and different things like that, and that's like unique to just DC and stuff. So
I think
Mambo
Wale was
sauce.
talking about that from his Hot Ones episode way back when, I think like 2 years ago. So yeah, it's really cool.
Evan, Avery.
In Nebraska, so like my favorite food, when people are like, what's your favorite food? I say crab, because it's such a luxury to get good crab in Nebraska that I'm like, when I get it, I'm like, oh, this is just divine. So like I really am jealous that you can just casually go out and eat good crab and get to smack it with a mallet. We're not doing that in Nebraska, that's for sure. But the combination of food, it's a combo of food that Nebraska does that's really weird. I personally don't eat this, but it's like there's literally a restaurant like based off of this, but chili and cinnamon rolls. Have you heard of it before?
Wait, you eat it on the cinnamon roll?
So it's
No,
not
it's
like
like-
on top of each other, but it's like a meal, like chili and cinnamon rolls.
Oh,
That's really interesting.
You might need to go. You need to explain this a little bit more. So, like, what's this? What's the deal with chili and cinnamon rolls? Did it come from like somebody who's just like, I would love some sweet, wonderful cake of cinnamon roll, but oh wait, I have this hot bowl of chili right next to it. Maybe I'll just eat them together.
I honestly don't know the origin, if there's like some like significance behind it. Like,
Will you explain this? I'm gonna look this up.
Pioneer, and yeah, honestly, you should like educate me about this because I really don't know.
Chili
But I wouldn't be
and
surprised if it was
cinnamon
just like
rolls.
some lazy Nebraskan being like, all we got for food, darling, is chili and cinnamon rolls. And then they're like, we can really do something with this. Like, I don't know.
It
I
sounds
hope
like
it was the scene that someone's walking down the street with their cinnamon roll and bumps into someone with chili, and they're like, "This is genius."
Oh yeah, I don't know. So there's like a whole restaurant that does this in Nebraska, and it's called Runza. Have you heard of it?
no.
No. It like Runza's really good. It's one of my favorite like fast food places here. But they also have a thing called like the Runza, and it's sauerkraut and like beef and cabbage and stuff all inside like a bun basically, and like wrapped up, and it's hot and it's so good. So at football games, they'll like throw them out, like, get your Runzas.
That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah. So that's like the good food in Nebraska that
Yeah.
I did miss like when I was away from home. But the chili and cinnamon roll thing, no.
It
Okay,
honestly
this is
sounds like a state fair
crazy.
type thing.
This is crazy. All right, so
Oh, yeah,
I am on this page called What's Cooking America. I don't know when this is from, but it's called The Truth About Chili and Cinnamon Rolls. So I'm just going to read the introduction. So for most Americans, crackers or cornbread is a common accompaniment served with a bowl of chili. In the states of Indiana and Ohio, a peanut butter sandwich is also an acceptable and normal side with a bowl of chili.
Normal?
Surprisingly, to several Midwest states, a bowl of chili is usually served with a cinnamon roll on the side. While chili and cinnamon rolls may seem a strange pairing to most of the nation, this food combo is Midwestern cold weather comfort food. Apparently, many adults fondly recall the excitement they felt when it was chili and cinnamon roll day at school. One Midwesterner quoted, "It would be very disappointing to eat chili without a cinnamon roll."
That's
A
probably like
Reddit-
my
a
grandpa, like 67.
A Reddit discussion string, "It's about as common as eating fries with a burger, not required, but almost assumed."
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
That's fantastic.
It's
Dadgummit, it's
incredible.
chili cinnamon roll day.
Yeah, instead of pizza day at school.
Wow, yeah, and
I do think it's dying with like our generation though. Like it definitely is like my grandparents kind of thing. Cause we in school did not have like chili cinnamon roll day. Like it's kind of dated at this point.
Bring it back.
Yeah, honestly,
Bring it back.
please bring it back. Wait, have you eaten it?
I honestly don't think so.
Okay, you're gonna have we got to do an update on this. Okay,
That is
we
tasty.
got to do a one-shot special. Olivia Klein eats chili and cinnamon rolls, please.
I'm very
because
down to do that. Like,
I'll fly over with
I-
my equipment and we'll do a whole field shoot.
this
wait,
would
can
be
you do a
incredible.
mukbang?
Oh, what if we did like a regional food mukbang? Oh.
You said you want to go on a road trip. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
Content road trip.
Wow, we just record all the different food.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, one food though, this conversation sparked something in me. One food that I never had until I came to New Jersey, empanadas.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't even
They're
know.
fantastic.
Empanadas
like-
are so good. And New Jersey doesn't even have that good of empanadas.
Yeah.
Like
No, but like I don't know. Yeah, that's not really like a New Jersey thing. I think that's just like a lack of in Nebraska type of thing.
Yeah.
But like Tito's empanadas, I could cry right now. Like about that. I love them so much. And so whenever I make it out again, first stop Tito's. Just saying.
Yeah, that's definitely something I do miss being at school. Is Tito's, is like BGR, just like all the local places, because it was like a downtown area right down the street from us, and there was a lot of good food. And sharing it with the people that we have within the One Shot community and the PTV community and all that, it was just such a good time every time we went out.
It basically like turned into comfort food at this point. Like if I had it again, I would just be like flooded with like the good memories, mostly because of the people I was with when I ate there. But yeah, so maybe that's why I love empanadas so much, is I was just always among good company.
Yeah.
But they were damn good.
yeah, the city has really good empanadas as well.
Mm.
Tommy, what would you say, because you live in North Jersey, I guess, and I live in South Jersey, I guess, what would you say is like a food difference that I guess you haven't really spent that much time in South Jersey, but if there is, like, what would you say is a food difference that you have noticed between North Jersey and South Jersey?
Honestly, it's really just a debate between Taylor ham and pork roll. It's pork roll, but I'm not even going to go there. But other than that, I don't really know a difference. I guess North Jersey has better diners, and that's just from my experience of like which diners are where and which I've enjoyed. I know TikTok and Tops Diner have both been on Diners, Drives, and Dives, and they're both phenomenal, and they're both up north. We've gone to Chit Chat, which is around school, which is technically North Jersey. That place is really good. So I would say the diner food, but I also haven't been in South Jersey enough to be like, oh, this is a good diner here and stuff like that.
Yeah, the one thing,
Universal in New Jersey, that's another thing I'd never heard of. Disco fries?
Yeah, it's a diner thing for sure.
But like both North and South Jersey?
I would think so.
Disco fries, I thought it was an Ohio thing. Oh,
I thought it was a Jersey
I'm thinking
thing.
Disco fries is
gravy
it chili or
cheese.
gravy?
It's gravy and cheese.
Okay, because I'm thinking of Ohio fries where they have chili and fries.
Yeah, no. Disco fries are
again,
fire.
man. It's just popping up.
Midwest, baby.
The one thing for New Jersey food that I would like to kind of try out is see if and how much of a difference there is between North Jersey pizza and South Jersey pizza, because I would like to really kind of see like how much of the crust changes, the sauce variation, because some have sweeter sauce, some have more salty sauce, but that could be a discussion point for another day.
Yeah.
I mean, as a kid that grew up eating just Domino's, I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
There's more pizza than Domino's out here.
There's other pizza? I thought there was John, Mr. Domino, and that Little Caesar. That rascal Little Caesar.
And the frozen DiGiorno one.
Oh, what about the Hut, man? You don't care for the Hut?
No one pizzas the Hut anymore.
Actually, I don't.
I don't really either, but all right, well, we can I have another question, still pertaining to food. And I think this would spark a lot of good conversation because everybody has really good differing opinions on this. What cereal would you guys say, or cereal brand would you say has the best alternative option to the original cereal? So my example for this, huge fan of Captain Crunch. I would say easily top 3 cereal for me. And then the best alternative, Peanut Butter Crunch. A lot of people would say the Oops All Berries or Crunch Berries, but Captain Crunch and Peanut Butter Crunch is like a comfort food for me. I could crush like a whole box of Captain Crunch and or Peanut Butter Crunch.
I'm gonna go with this is the only option that came into my head, and going from Cheerios to Honey Nut Cheerios is such a big jump to me because Cheerios is trash, and then Honey Nut Cheerios is one of my favorites all time. So
I feel like that doesn't count. In my mind, the generic Honey Nut Cheerios are the like tier, the like specific one. Even though
I mean, there's original to me, my brother eats original Cheerios, and every time it's just cardboard with milk, and I don't like it.
You can't trust him. Like,
well, I feel like original Cheerios are meant to be eaten, with like fruit, like bananas or blueberries. Like I think that's kind of
babies.
Or given to babies, like as a snacking food.
Not humans. Or I guess like adults. That's what I meant.
Babies are not humans.
You heard it here first. Olivia doesn't think babies are humans. They're not.
That's gonna be the title.
We don't have to get into that.
Are babies?
Coming in strong from an hour behind and thousands of miles away.
This is my last podcast. Thanks.
Since we have one of the originators, was Jimmy Fallon's ever a babies?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Was there ever a record of Jimmy Fallon being a babies?
No.
Well, there's record of young Jimmy Fallon, so that proves he ages.
Yeah, all right.
But was he ever a baby? And are babies humans? Now,
first time you ever saw Jimmy Fallon?
The first time I ever saw Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah.
On Saturday Night Live?
Old as hell, right?
How old was he when he was on Saturday Night Live?
The working theory you have, Christian?
Oh, big time. All I'm going to say is there's been a whole show about Chris Rock being a kid. Ain't nobody worried about no Jimmy Fallon being a kid. It never existed.
Yeah, but you could say the same thing about other comedians. Like, was Dave Chappelle ever not an adult?
He started at like 14.
Yeah, that's documented. Also, shout out DC, baby. Gang, gang.
Okay, so I want to know more about this theory then, because like, do you have other... Huh?
Shout out Duke Ellington High School.
Oh, true. Okay. Do you have other celebrities that you don't think, and maybe not even celebrities, do you think there are other people that were never children?
I don't know. I just don't trust Jimmy Fallon. And I looked it up one time. I'd never found a picture of him like as a kid. And then he's always talking about being a dad all the time. And because he wants to throw the smoke off. That's what it is.
Being a dad, but not having a dad.
But never having a dad. You get it.
This is a development.
I've been convinced.
This is a Joe Schmagegi theory. So take that for what you will.
It is from Joe, actually. But yeah.
Joe squared.
So if he never had, or if he was never a baby or even a child, why is it so evident that he's aging now?
He's got to catch up.
Exactly. Okay, so he's just like the clone NBC rolled out. I mean, we see Jimmy Fallon all the time. You're telling me there can't be multiple Jimmy Fallons doing multiple things at the same time? I don't know, man.
I like the idea that Jimmy Fallon doesn't like being touched because there's a bunch of clips of him hosting people on his show. There's one in particular where I think it's Rami Malek is on the show, and like Jimmy Fallon has like his hand on like the edge of the desk, and Rami Malek is like talking about something, and he reaches out and touches Jimmy Fallon's hand, and like the edit like quickly snap zooms into his face, and he's like completely taken by surprise, and he like jerks his hand back really fast, and then Rami Malek responds, but he just kind of keeps talking and rolling with it. And I just liked the idea that maybe since he never had the affection that a child receives and that a clone would not receive, that he doesn't know what it's like being touched in like a generous manner.
The theory thickens.
Like, why does he do all those interviews? He's just trying to learn how to be human. Like, it's all
that's why he laughs at the wrong time every time.
Every time.
He's like pretending to interview, but really like picking up mannerisms. Like, this is how you speak.
Wow.
I believe it. I am sold on this theory.
Well, they'll never tell you.
If we compile a little bit more evidence, I might be a part of it.
This is what Nicolas Cage found out in National Treasure.
This is what's in the Declaration of Independence. They don't want us to steal.
I loved all the meme photos of Nicolas Cage being photoshopped into the Capitol riots, and he's just holding the Declaration of Independence.
I haven't seen any of those. That's great.
It's really funny, and he goes, "So that's why he did it."
That whole situation, it's like when you boil it down, it's kind of funny. Like they stormed the Capitol, right? And what they were gonna take people hostage, and all they could do was fake play secretary, and that's really funny. That's
Yeah,
really funny. I'm
Like,
gonna
it
overthrow
just
the
went into,
government.
like photo ops. Like it really was like they were like talking the talk and stuff. People were like, I want to shoot like X, Y, and Z and take them hostage. But really, like at the end of the day, all they got was photo ops that in turn incriminated them.
yeah, but we all know that doesn't mean
Like-
shit because none of them got jail time, or none of them got
True.
serious jail time.
Right, which is a whole nother.
Like that's why they were like, yeah, we can take photos and show our faces and storm the Capitol maskless because literally nothing will happen to us.
It really is just like another layer of privilege where like they can just document it. And like I saw stuff about how it was like our parents always told us like, don't post this on social media because like this will stay with you forever and like it'll like you might not get a job and X, Y, and Z. And then these people storm the Capitol and are fucking live streaming it. Like it's just the privilege is so deep. Like it's never ending. But
and they're dumb as fuck, and it proves it. Like that's just it.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
My favorite part was seeing them being told they're on the no-fly list, and they're like, "Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?" And it's also the airport that I grew up flying out of, so that's extra fun for me. And just seeing that, it's just like, oh, good times, quality times.
So this Sunday, actually coming up, is the final game of the NFL season, the big game, as some of us are told to call it, and not legally allowed to say the professional name of the occasion. But what we are allowed to say is who's performing at the big game, and his name is The Weeknd.
Oh, it's a bell, but it's okay.
That was
Yeah,
Abel.
are you guys excited for The Weeknd?
They do.
What?
Are you excited for The Weeknd to perform?
I know Fam is excited.
Hyped.
Hey,
Hyped.
you might say that everybody's waiting for The Weeknd. Oh, oh,
Good.
hey, oh.
Somehow in the break, Christian turned 48.
I'm actually not too excited for him. He has a very good voice.
Why are you a hater, man? Why are
no,
you a hater?
not letting you talk. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're a
I-
hater.
Shut it down.
You didn't even
Absolutely.
listen to the album.
I was gonna explain myself, but it's
No,
okay.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Dude, the man didn't even listen to his album and goes, "I'm not excited." He just wants to be a heel. You know what, Tommy? You suck.
I was
Right,
trying to
I mean-
make for good radio, but never mind, guys. Talk your talk about The Weeknd.
No, give your hate or whatever. I'm just not gonna listen and look this way.
I'll listen, Tommy. I'll listen.
While he does have a really good voice, he's not the best performer, so it's gonna be pre-taped and everything, and they're gonna do as much as they can editing wise to make it look like he's actually performing well, but he's just gonna stand there for the most part, and that doesn't really make for a good halftime show. So I don't expect the best thing, but I do hope that everybody else enjoys it.
Fair assessment. I'll let it slide this time.
Oh, thanks, man.
Well, this brings up an interesting conversation. What would you guys say is the best big game halftime show that you have watched?
Based on
I'll go ahead, Olivia.
Oh, just based on like absurdity and entertainment, I feel like the only answer is Katy Perry, because I feel like she was probably the first to like really memify the big game halftime show. Just like I'll never forget watching that. And also it was like 2015, so I was just like getting into Twitter. And so like watching all of it come up about like left shark, right shark, I was like, this is incredible. Like I just couldn't put my phone down. So that was, I think, the most memorable, but I think like the most talented, Lady Gaga. She just kills it with everything she does. The inauguration, like she keeps killing it, you know? So that was probably my personal fave.
I was just going to go just on the basis of the beginning of her performance when she jumped off of the roof of NRG Stadium. Like, that's how she opened her performance. that easily just won me over for the entire thing. That's all I needed to see was Lady Gaga just yeet herself into the stadium and, perform 8 good songs and have a day with Missy Elliott, I think was the other performer. Unless that was the Katy Perry show.
That might have been.
I don't remember.
I don't know, but Lady Gaga's was good. She jumped into the stadium to then jump out of the stadium, which was that's really cool. But for me, the first thing that comes to mind is Bruno Mars and Beyonce. But the thing is, that wasn't their quote halftime show. So I guess it gets pushed down because it was supposed to be Coldplay, and Coldplay just got overshadowed as years go by. But that was just an amazing performance. But I mean, Beyonce by herself, she shut down literally the Super Bowl. So I mean, top number 1 for me.
Yeah.
Because she stopped the actual game afterwards.
Yeah, my first choice was Lady Gaga. I think she's one of the best performers that we have. But the boomer in me will go with a different choice, and that was The Who. I thought that was a lot of fun. I thought they're really energetic for their age and everything like that, and I thought it was a good show.
I was pretty young for it, but I also think I know a lot of people also enjoyed it, but it was the Bruce Springsteen halftime performance. That was apparently...
I was waiting for one of you to say it.
It was apparently really well done, but
I'm not a Bruce guy.
I fought every urge in my body to bring it up, but I just couldn't. I couldn't prevail. I could not prevail. All right, well, it should be, at least it should be an interesting performance, because the Super Bowl itself, whether you care or not who is in it or have any, actual inkling of interest, the halftime performance, regardless of what Tommy thinks, will be interesting. But
the entire show's in spite of Tommy.
Yeah. Yep.
If The Weeknd plays defense, then I'll be happy. But that's it. That's the only way I enjoy his performance.
We love an out-of-show reference.
I gotta make the people here laugh too.
All right, well, we can move on from that, but one final question that I really have for all of you that I think is a really good hypothetical. Pretty proud of myself for that. I came up with it. But say we're hosting a dinner party, right? Just like the super famous episode of The Office, hosting a dinner party. You get to invite 4 different celebrities. And right now I'm going to leave it at celebrities because I did want it to be historical figures, but then I feel like you just open up like a whole other realm of possibilities. So we're going to keep to celebrities this time. Who would you invite to interact with you and the other guests for your ideal dinner party? And if you have time, what would you make for dinner?
This is dead or alive? Or like just one or the other?
I think if they're dead, they count as historical figures. So we're going to go with celebrities that are alive.
That makes it a lot harder.
And at the dinner party, are we all here?
Or is it just like 4 ourselves?
No, right now it's you plus the 4 celebrities.
Okay. I can only think of one person. So I'm going to start my roster with my first, always, Jack Black.
That's fantastic.
That's a good one.
First, we would reenact the entire School of Rock plot. And then I would pitch School of Rock 2 to him. And then we'd get started on our work. So let me think of my other people who I'd want to cast in School of Rock 2. So we'd have the whole
dinner party is
just a dinner theater. That's
quick question. Is Miranda Cosgrove just like a mainstay, or is she's out? She's the manager, but she's out.
It's a really good question. Let me think on it for a second.
Okay. Fam, do you have people in mind?
I'm trying to think. All right, so you know what? This is I think what I'm gonna go with, right? The first one I'm gonna go with because I admire his music so much and I think he's an interesting individual. I don't know how well it would go, but my first one would probably be Kanye West. Because one, the dude, it seems like the dude knows everybody. Or somebody at least knows Kanye West in some capacity, so that at least means that he can talk with other people. Plus, he seems to be ecstatic enough to hold conversation regardless of the topic or the situation, so he's not going to be a boring dinner guest.
Yeah.
Plus, it means that I could ask him about his music and what goes into it, and we'll see by the end of the conversation if it ends on music or not. his whole recent politics thing makes me a little less eager to do it. But I admire the man for his music and his art, not for his politics. So that's my goal number one. Number two is, see, it's really because you think of one right off the bat. Oh, number two, Tom Hanks. I wanna have Tom Hanks at this dinner party. I think he's an incredible human. I just want to shake his hand. I want to ask him what it was like being in a bunch of different movies and what it was like being the first American that anyone cared about getting COVID. And just being the man, the myth, the legend that Tom Hanks is. Number three, I'm trying to hit all different facets of stuff that I care about. Number three I would probably want an athlete. Maybe Peyton Manning. I think that would be.
He's also funny.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. He's entertaining. He knows a crap ton about football. Has a massive head. If anything alone, I could always just reference his head and conversation would get going. I'd be like, "Hey Peyton, did the helmet squeeze your head to make it longer? Hey Peyton, have you ever used your head as a weapon? Hey Peyton, how much does your head weigh? Hey,
you
Peyton,
mistakenly eat off of his forehead.
Peyton, sit down. Can I use your head as a plate? It's
you put your charcuterie board on his forehead.
Exactly. I could dice my tomatoes on his forehead. I could, use it as a mallet to smash some soft shell crab. I can, I can ask him, hey Peyton, what football play was the most annoying to play against on defense? Also, do you think your head would be good counterweight for a scale for a pound of meat? Let me know really everything that's going on. I think the last person that I would probably want, I'm going to go with a comedian. I want to go with Tom Segura would probably be the last one because I listen to a lot of the Your Mom's House content. I think he is an incredibly funny guy. He's also very calm and level-headed in situations. So I think he's a good reactor to a lot of things and has an interesting take on a lot of things. So that's my four. Especially watching him interact with Kanye West is just going to be incredible. And watching Peyton Manning try and have a conversation with Kanye West. And, I'm in the background hanging out with, just
giggling in the background
with Tom Hanks and be like, what was it like on Castaway? Were you really on that island? Also watch Kanye West berate Peyton Manning. It would just be great. Those are my four: Kanye West, Tom Hanks, Tom Segura, Peyton Manning.
This is such a good question.
This could be a conversation, like a podcast on its own, but
yeah, it could.
I'm not forcing you guys to really get them now. If you have people, it doesn't even have to be four. Like Olivia gave one, and it was an interesting answer. If you have more, give it. Tommy, Christian, you guys have any ideas?
All right. I think first, I need a funny person and also an intellectual. So I'm going to go with Dave Chappelle because I think he's really funny, but he's also a smart guy. My second choice is going to be Stevie Wonder because I want to figure out if he's actually blind or not. Because I don't know, there's some footage out there that makes him kind of sus.
I'm gonna start calling you conspiracy theory Christian. Shit you say.
Fair. I'm just gonna just look it up, man. He caught a microphone. He's driven a car before. I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say. But then he also can play music and stuff, which would be really fun. And then I think for my berate feature, I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers because you guys know I'm a big Cowboys fan. He's hurt me multiple times, and I want to tell him to his face.
Okay.
But that I respect him as well. And then I also want someone to just feel very uncomfortable for no reason. So I'm gonna pick Nancy Pelosi. I feel like some person should just be really confused the whole time in a room of Stevie Wonder and Dave Chappelle, Aaron Rodgers.
Man, she's gonna be confused. Does she have to wear? Is she gonna have to kneel randomly? Is she gonna wear that?
I think she would. Honestly, I think she would remind me that it's Black History Month. I'd be like, "Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate it."
She'd walk up to you and go, "Hey, just don't forget it's February. It's Black History Month.
Go you. Did you see me wear my kente cloth? That was for you. I did that for you."
Oh my God. That's fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. And then I'll ask her about World War II. What was that like?
And then the incoming World War III.
And yeah.
Where's my $2,000?
Where's my $2,000?
It's my money and I need it now.
But yeah.
Lee, what about you?
Wow, I don't know how to follow that one up. I It's tough because I do want to bring comedians and everything as well, but I'm trying to think who would function well together. And I know I'd really want Pharrell there because he's my favorite producer all time. I think he's amazing. And I feel like the great connection he has is Tyler, the Creator, the reverence he also has for Pharrell, which would make for good conversation and banter between each other. The first person that popped into my head was Jim Carrey, because I think he's one of the best comedians all time. I think he could walk in anywhere and just make people laugh. Christian said Chappelle. I think that's easily one of the best answers, but I'm not gonna piggyback off of that. Tom Segura was also another one that popped into my head. But maybe Kid Cudi, just another person that I grew up listening to all the time, and I think he would be a lot of fun to kind of pick his brain about certain things.
Have him hum in your.
It's
own
fun. It's funny.
Hum
as
throughout
we-
the entire thing.
As we go through this, talking about other, like I've just been having other people, like I kind of want to sub out Peyton Manning for Shaquille O'Neal. Like I kind of
that's
like
a great one.
he's super funny, and
He could be your DJ.
I would love, yeah, like have him just blaring his EDM that he produces is hilarious, and I want to see like if his hand will cover my entire face. I know it will, but like
Palm me, Shaq.
I also
palm
want
me.
to. I also want to know where he got his business ideas from, and like what he like what goes on in that giant man's brain is incredible, because he is just such an innovator in ways of making money and like being successful. Like he's such an entrepreneur in his own light. And then the other person like that you were saying for comedians, that if I had to sub out Tom Segura, I would want Bill Burr, because his comedy is, it toes the line every single time of inappropriate, but I also think he offers really good insight on like contrasting ideas. Plus, I want to talk to him about F is for Family, and like I want to know how much of F is for Family is legitimate and like true to his childhood. But I also would like to know, like, why did he choose a Star Wars acting role after shitting on it for his entire career? So I don't know, but if I don't want to sub out Tom Segura, so Bill Burr would be the reserve if Tom Segura couldn't come.
Boston space.
Okay, I've thought about it a little bit more, and like I feel like every person that I've selected has the most absurd energy, and I feel like the space we created might cause the Big Bang.
Like you're going for chaos, truthfully.
I'm going for just pure chaos. So my next choice is JoJo Siwa.
Okay.
Like, and she is gonna play every single child role in School of Rock 2.
Okay. Is she wearing like the shoulder pads that she always wears?
Yeah, the big bows, the shoulder pads.
Perfect.
Like, hey everybody! Like, just absolutely.
But she's also clearly like a 20-year-old.
Yeah, I think she's like 17 or 18. Like, she's like teen, like almost 20, I think. So we've got our like kids roles placed. So then we need somebody to compose the music. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Thundercat, but
Of
he's
course.
just
Of course.
crazy.
Great fucking pick. Great pick.
So Thundercat is gonna compose School of Rock 2.
Holy shit. I love this.
And then I mean, like, not to be like I'm gonna be a celebrity one day, but I'm inviting myself as a
go.
celebrity so that they're not.
You're already included in this. That's the part of the hypothetical.
No, I know. Me now. And then me when I'm a celebrity will.
Wow.
So there's time travel in this too.
Holy
Yeah.
Perfect.
There's no rules. So that's my fourth celebrity is me when I'm famous for whatever it's gonna be for. And I'm gonna be the principal, Miss Mullins.
Perfect.
And Jack Black and I are gonna fall in love.
I love
Not
it.
for dinner party.
Thundercat was such a good pull.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do some subs. First, I'm keeping Nancy Pelosi because I think that's really fun. But I think I'm gonna go LeBron instead of Aaron Rodgers. We already are.
Yeah,
berating someone.
a beration will only get you so far.
Yeah.
It won't.
But LeBron, he's cool. Yeah.
That's true.
Is that your only sub? You started that off like you were gonna bring like three or four.
Well, I thought I didn't want to steal one of your picks because you all had great people. Because like Pharrell, would be fire. Then you said Thundercat would also be fire, and he's already friends with Dave Chappelle. I feel like that would be a good time. And him and Stevie Wonder, kind of fire.
Oh,
My girl Nancy, but you know, hey, whatever.
wow. I mean, I'm so glad where this hypothetical went. It really could have been its own podcast, like where we just talk about a bunch of potential mix and matches. You know, it's really, you know, your choice is whatever you want to be. And hopefully all of these dinner parties can happen someday, sooner rather than later. But I think that's actually going to do it for today's episode. This was a lot of fun. We hit a lot of different talking points. You know, we talked about food. Olivia is going to eat chili and cinnamon rolls in a future episode.
Yes, I will. I really will.
We learned that Christian loves smashing crabs. Tommy has no opinion on food whatsoever. He hates Cheerios, loves Honey Nut Cheerios.
Hates the weekend.
Hates the weekend.
Hates the weekend.
Absolutely invalidates himself on every single musical discussion now. But we love him with all of our heart, and we love having him on every single episode. Thank you so much for watching. Just a little side note, last week's episode with myself, Ivana, and Jill got the most views of the previous episode got over 200 views. This one eclipsed over 400 views, and who knows where it's going to go. Thank you so much, everyone who's watched, subscribed, listened, thought about watching, told a friend, told a family member, told yourself to watch it later in the day. I appreciate every single one of you. All four of us appreciate you. And please remember to subscribe to One Shot Entertainment, just solely for the fact that you're going to watch Olivia Klein eat chili and cinnamon rolls and all the other great content that is coming down the line. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like it if you did, dislike if you didn't. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much.
Bye, dudes.